The subject of attraction is a complex one because we are starting from a point of confusion. So I don't want to make it, I don't want to like be geeky and break it down in 1,000 pieces. But what I want to highlight is what the previous videos have highlighted is like, well, you don't know what you're attracted to really as long as you're conditioned. Maybe in your conditioning, what you generally are drawn towards can express itself or find a passage, but there's a confusion. As long as your mind is not yours and your nervous system is not unshackled, you don't know yourself, you don't know your rhythm. So then how do you know what songs you really like? Songs is an analogy of what you're attracted to or what resonates with you. Yeah, the word attraction is complicated because first attraction means a form of polarity. Resonance is another thing. So let's just keep things simple for the time being, okay? Everybody understands the word attraction at a simple level. I'm repeating myself. As long as your mind is conditioned, you're not so sure what really reaches you and what doesn't. Because you don't know where is your center. That's all I'm saying. And until there's a form of cleaning done, where you reconnect to yourself or reconnect to what's really, what animates you or moves you, then it's hard to have such a conversation. At the end of the day, energy is energy. It's a complex subject and I don't want to get lost in details for now. But that's the point I'm trying to make for today. As long as you're conditioned, you cannot know what's true or not true for you. You think you do, but your mind is affected. So it's like blinding you from a deeper and truer experience of yourself and others. And you're chasing something that may or may not be for you, but you think it is, so therefore it is. Like, you think about this, like, look at how our society presents manhood and womanhood, right? So there's basically one model of manhood and one model of womanhood. There's variations and different tones of it. Everyone aspires to be that one version of man, one version of woman. Different people succeed at different degrees of being that, and everybody competes for the same thing. So technically, and don't forget that model of manhood and femininity changes every couple of generations, right? Never forget that. So everybody is essentially fighting to be the same person. Everybody's trying to be the same person. Only some will succeed and everything else is ugly. That's what culture is technically telling you. And that's how they sell you shit. So you mean to tell me that in nature, only one person is pretty? One man, one woman, and those who are at the top version of looking like it. And everything else is ugly. Or unworthy, technically. Because that's how you feel, isn't it? When you're not that girl or you're not that guy, you feel ugly, you feel technically unworthy, meaning you have no value. You're worthless, this is literally what it means. And therefore, if you're worthless and you have no value, you're good as dead, and there you go. So that's what they're selling us. They're not telling you this, but this is literally what they're telling you. They don't say it, but that's what they imply. And you, by being a servant of these images, first of all, you're a consumer. With all due respect, like honest to God. And it's not, because people will say, no, it's not I don't understand. I fucking understand. But with all due respect, there are people You have a watch that's $500,000 on your wrist. Now, I can understand that you have like so much money, it doesn't really matter for you. And I couldn't understand that because I don't have so much money that I couldn't understand. But you have $500,000 on your wrist. And that's beauty. And everything else is not. But nobody can have that. And that's how that mindset feels special. And it's not to say that that thing is not pretty. I'm like, I wouldn't wear this even if you gave me $20 million. I wouldn't want to have that on my wrist. It's an insult to me. I don't want that. I want to participate in it. I don't want that energy on me. And I don't want to walk telling everybody else with my watch, I'm better than you. I'm not that dude. Now you can say whatever you want about me. It may or may not be true. But that's where I stand. So that's what society and culture is trying to convince everybody. And it gets them to fight to go towards a certain kind of idealized top of minimal resources. And each step you take makes you better than the other person. But the reality is that that system is based on scarcity and is limited because only certain people can technically then have value. So if we go back to the subject of beauty, you mean to say that only a handful of people on earth are beautiful? Everybody else is normal or boring or ugly. Okay, but if you so happen to be that person, and it works out for you, because a lot of people are, let's use Marilyn Monroe as an example everybody will relate to. So she was arguably, some people consider her so amazing and so beautiful, she hated herself. She was miserable. The poor little creature. So let's say it works for you and you're buying into your own things and you feel like that. Isn't it odd that everyone else is ugly except you? And what kind of life makes only one person have everything and everybody else have nothing? That's not how nature does anything. And if you go into a forest and you just look at trees, there's always a majestic tree. It's like that tree, man. You like walk and you see it from like, as far as your eyes see, you see that tree, right? It's happened so many times. And you like walk towards the tree. It's like magnetizing. You're walking and walking and walking and walking. And right the moment you get to the tree, you look to the left. Another tree. Anyways, that happens to me so many times. Then I laugh at the big tree because the smaller tree right there was prettier. But I saw the smaller tree because of the big tree. So they worked in collaboration. And then once I look at the small tree, and it was a little smaller, or like let's say more modest, then I look at the big ass tree and I'm like, well, look at you. You're like, look at you, fucking dude, man. You're like, what the look at that dude. And then you spot another one over there. Like, look at that tree, so elegant. So in a way, we can say that the big ass tree holds the space down and it has such a powerful position that it highlights the differences with all the other ones. All the nuances appear in the light of that tree. Because that tree is so beautiful and subtle. And that tree is so refined. And that tree has such a particular form. And that tree is so courageous. I don't know how it's found its way to survive, but it's found its way, and the shape it took is like, what a tree, that's my dude. I relate to that dude because me also, right? But all of these things are highlighted because of that, the Mac Daddy of trees at the center. So that's how nature does it. Everything has an element of beauty, and then you have maybe one who's more majestic. We can call him King Tree, but he's King Tree to highlight all the others. That's how nature does it. In this system, that's not how it is. It's you at the top, everybody else sucks. You suck everything, you suck all the essence of beauty. No one else is allowed to have any access to beauty because that is beauty, and you have won the lottery pick of genetic supremacy. And that's how these people think. Anything and everything else is worthless. Just that is valuable. And now you feel great. Do you feel great because you're really beautiful? Or do you feel great in your ego because everybody else sucks compared to you? these are secrets you will never share, so don't bother. But do you see what I'm trying to say? So this doesn't make any sense. And this mindset is rampant. That stupid mindset is everywhere, and everybody subscribes to it. Just like we spoke at the very start, this is the final loop when we're talking about social media and its fantasy, that if you just adhere to our formula, I'll make you a star. So everybody signs here, I want to have maybe I'll win to be the beautiful person and have it all for me. Please sign me up. Maybe it's like a one chance out of 1,000, one chance out of 10,000. Maybe it's going to be me. Maybe it's going to be me. Maybe I'm going to win. And maybe I'm going to go to a party and I'm going to be they're all ugly and maybe I'll be the prettiest. Like maybe I'm a quote unquote 5, but maybe there's a party of 3, I'll be the 10. Maybe this is my time. Maybe it's my... Subscribe to this mindset. Maybe it's my chance. If I could just surround myself with the ugliest girls, then I'll be the prettiest of the ugly girls, which makes me the prettiest girl. Because if there's 4 guys that come, they will not say, she's the ugliest pretty girl. She'll say, she's the prettiest girl of the group, so that makes me the prettiest girl. I'm the pretty girl of the ugly girls. Until the other girl who comes, Samantha, who's like from the upper class, comes and then highlights your ugliness, and the loser is, oh, I want Samantha. So let's kill Samantha, or make sure that Samantha never comes here, because because here I have dominion. I'm at the top of this little world of where I'm the best. Whew. I don't know what to say. This is a recipe for suffering. This is all I can say. It's a recipe for disaster. It is a recipe for disease. And if you subscribe to this, well, I totally understand you. You have been duped by the mindset of the system that has made you a consumer. That's what you'll do. And on top of that, it has made that everyone else is quote unquote your enemy or beneath you. Therefore, you cannot see their beauty. So when the so-called men give numbers to girls, now, I don't want to be the guy that says how men are degrading women, but no, I don't care. I totally understand what you're saying by saying 8, 9, 7, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. I get it. Fine. I really do. I genuinely understand. But this is like, it's a superficial understanding of superficial understanding of women, and superficial understanding of beauty. So if you're actually a student of beauty and you love beauty, you have to unpack beauty to really see beauty. So you are now the judge of beauty. So as a judge of beauty, you owe it to yourself to master your science of beauty. You didn't see that one coming. I could have just told you off, but I didn't. I challenged you instead. I said, now that you're the judge of beauty, because you're the man, of course, so you're sitting down on your chair and you're like, this is a 6.2 at best. No, these are 4s. Everybody on Twitter dates 10s and 9s. This is a 5. Nah, this is a 3 in my book. I only date genuine 9s and 10s with an echo. Don't worry, me, I date 0s and minuses. I love the minuses. They're my favorite ones, man. I'm not challenged. I'm a nobody, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm -3, 5, 10. I'm into minuses. You never knew that there was the minus girls. I got the minuses, bro. Anyways, jokes aside, what I'm trying to say is that, what I'm trying to tell you, no, let's be serious. I can appreciate, I know exactly what you're saying. Let's not kid ourselves. What I'm trying to tell you is that the moment you use a little more perception in your eyes, you're going to see something else. That's all I'm trying to say. The moment you can see, let's say a human being is made of 100 layers, just for fun, right? If you see only the first layer, then you can judge it according to the first layer. If you can see layer 2 and 3, then you have 3 layers to go by. And then you will, by default, have to see if layer 1, 2, and 3 are coherent and aligned. Because if they're not, it could create some kind of like, ugliness. And if your eyes can see all the way to 15 layers, then you see what I'm trying to say? So your understanding of beauty expands. And that's my invitation. I don't care that you want to say that the girl is a 4 or a 7 or 15, whatever floats your boat. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you really care about beauty and you really want to taste beauty, you really want you want to really get the taste of it, you owe it to yourself to expand your understanding, understanding, and overstanding of what actually beauty is, and have the courage and the manhood to have a sharp, penetrating gaze that allows you to go to the very core of beauty. Now, that's my challenge to you. If you choose to take it, if you don't, whatever floats your boat. But that's what I got to say about that. So in my prerogative, and I understand the appeal of lust, greed, ego, attachment, and anger. I really understand it. That's the game. Like, I'm going to win, I'm going to conquer, I'm going to beat everybody else. I really do. But you'll never win. And even if you do win, you don't win. Study the people who supposedly won and look at their miserable condition. So the game is rigged and you got screwed. And if you buy into it, you're getting fucked. Now, you can buy into it as long as it works for you. But when you become a little more wise, mature, you start to understand it's like, this never really works. Then you don't have a choice. You have to let go of the mindset of that game and discover a new mindset, which is your natural mindset, which is all so much wider, so much bigger, and dare I say, more inclusive? Oh, do you see these words? You can't say anymore. More inclusive in the sense it's like, well, suddenly nature has so many other kinds of forms. Which doesn't say that, this was not to say that ugly ain't ugly and beauty ain't beauty. I'm just saying there's more. Beauty is, you've limited beauty to just one layer. And that's how you get conned. I'll tell you a story. And I'll finish with that. When the so-called pandemic began and the gyms closed and all this happened, so, you know, people want to get gym stuff at home so that you can work out, right? So it was like a big thing and you can find anything, and guys start to hustle and bring shit from China and sell it and triple the price and whatnot. And I was looking for a little stationary bike, because I was rehabbing my knee. So I needed a stationary bike to work my knee. Long story short. So the only thing I could find was this ad on Kijiji of a dude selling one of them bikes. And I look at the picture and the bike looked nice. And the price was, well, it's what was left. So you go with what's left, right? So I went all the way to I don't know where to see the bike. And you looked at the bike and the bike looked mint. It looked like a good bike, right? And it was a kind of weird setting. It was a little shady and whatnot. I'm like, I'm not in the mood. It's kind of feeling weird. I'm with my homeboy. I'm like, let's just get the bike and get the fuck out of here, right? Let's go get a veggie burger. After that, it's an opportunity. So we got the bike, and because it looks good, I expected it because it looks good that it's a good bike, right? Because you expect that. That's the con. Because beauty secretly means to you integrity. That's what it really means, right? So that's what I expected. Then I got home, I tested the bike, and it was the shittiest little piece of shit ever. Then I brought my homeboy, another homeboy, to come over because the bike couldn't even raise the bike high enough, the seat high enough for me to use it. Now it's on me because I didn't try it out, but I kind of did, but I didn't fully try it out because I was kind of like, I did a bad move, that's on me. It's not the point. And the guy was kind of soft, he was kind of generous, like, you want to bite? Okay, it's as you like. Anyways, the point is, it looked like it was a good bike. It just fucking sucked. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the con of beauty. The surface looked pretty. So when my homeboy came to see the bike, to adjust the bike, he says, oh, it just looks like it's a good bike. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly that. It looks like it's a good bike. It just looks like a good bike. They sold me the looks of a bike. And most of you cats are falling into that. But because you live at the surface, you're very satisfied with that kind of bike. But when you're actually, which is not the case, it's not my case, but you're actually a cyclist, a dude that does bicycle shit and is accustomed to, like, you know how you need this, you want to go like this and it needs to be stable, you know, you actually know how to use, you know, you need a good bike to be able to push it. Then you're like, this is the shittiest thing I've ever seen. So here you are with a woman. I'm gonna fucking get that one right. Check that one. Now you're with a woman, and now you're the man, right? You want to ride that horse, or whatever you want to call that pony, whatever you want to call that. You want to ride that creature and, like, activate it, right? And all you can do is ride it at, like, the meekest first degree level of a bike rider. That's you. Okay? That's all you can do. You can't go to level 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. You don't know how to go there. You don't know how to ride the bike because the bike won't even allow you to do that. That's what I'm trying to say. Them bikes that you just selecting the surface bike, if you wanted to actually ride it, it wouldn't be able to ride it because it's not designed for that. It's just cheap made. It's incoherent. You got fooled by the illusion of beauty, and in some cases, the form actually looks pretty. Shout out to that. And I ain't got nothing against that. It's called magic. We'll get into that later. It's magic. It's literally part of witchcraft, and I'm not going to get into the details. It's magic. It's designed to fool you. And I don't think there's a more powerful form of magic than beauty. That's arguable, but that's what I'm saying today. So thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the show, and see you later.